hello. Welcome to Mrs. D's Baking TV. This is just a quick video because I was about to make breakfast for my husband and I thought about it when I pulled out this apple bread that I had not released a video. Guys, this apple bread from the Sue Becker cookbook, this cookbook right here. Show you this cookbook, This Sue Becker cookbook right here. It has been so good. So I made the bread probably about 2 weeks ago. And what I always do, I always put a loaf in the freezer. But this particular bread, we've been eating on it since I baked it. We ate the fresh loaf and then I put another loaf in the freezer. So I will heat this up this morning with some eggs and some other things for my husband's breakfast, and it's gonna be delicious. So I said all that to say, follow along right quick as I show you. I'm not gonna show you me putting together the actual loaf because it's the actual same recipe from the yeast bread that I did last week. So I'll just show you how I put the loaf together and how it came out. But trust me, you have got to do this recipe. I'm not going to list it because it's in her cookbook and she wants you to buy the cookbook, but you can find it on the internet. It's Sue Becker's apple loaves. So delicious, so delicious. After you have allowed your dough to rise in a bowl, you are going to divide it into 2 equal portions. And here are the diced apples that I used. And for this recipe, I use the evaporated cane sugar instead of brown sugar, but if you don't have that, definitely use regular brown sugar. I purchased my evaporated cane sugar from the Bread Baker's website. And you're going to press out your dough to a 10 by 5 inch rectangle. Now when pressing out your dough, be mindful. Do not press it out so thin because it will cause your filling to spill out. So make sure that you don't press it out too thin. And here, I didn't even measure it. I just basically eyed it according to the size of the pan that I used. So you're going to brush it liberally with your butter. Make sure that you leave about a 1/2 inch around the perimeter of your dough so that you can seal your loaf properly. Be sure not to add too many apples. And then you're going to fold your dough starting with the short end of your rectangle and then roll it as tightly as possible because you want to create a beautiful swirl when your bread is baking. Make sure that you pinch those seams. Rolling it into a tight cylinder. And then place it in your prepared pan. And I've brushed this pan liberally with butter. And then you're going to repeat the process. The wonderful thing about this recipe
Sue Becker has about 4 or 5, maybe even more recipes using this same dough. So once you've mastered this basic yeast bread, there's so many different recipes that you can do with this recipe. Now we're going to transfer the loaves into the prepared pan, and we're going to allow the loaves to rise in a warm place for about 30 to 45 minutes. Being sure that you cover them. And as you can see, our loaves have doubled in size, and now they're ready for the oven. So you're going to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And you're going to bake your loaves for 40 to 45 minutes, or until the internal temperature reaches about 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Once your loaves are done, you are going to transfer them to a wired rack and allow them to cool completely before you slice them. And as you can see on one of the loaves, some of our filling spilled out a little bit, but it was still delicious. Now you know what time it is. It's taste test time. Look at that, a successful swirl. Soft and pillowy. Mm-mm-mm. Guys, this bread was so good, I had to do a little dance.
Thank you guys for joining me today. Let me tell you what I learned about this recipe. I will bake this again. This will be in my rotation. But the next time I bake this bread, I won't add as many apples as I did. I'll probably cut them smaller, is what I suggest you do if you try this recipe. And I definitely would add as much cinnamon and sugar as I did. But thank you so much for joining me today on Mrs. D's Baking TV. Be blessed. Bake with your family. Bake for yourself. Bye.